So we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm here to teach yoga, to lead you in a practice. This practice is about 30 minutes or so of stretching, and then 20, 30 minutes or so of lying down meditation. And all you need is yourself, and you are most welcome to be here. Please take care of yourself and focus on your own individual well-being. If I suggest something that doesn't seem to make sense to you in your body, or you feel like you don't want to do it, then don't do it. It's completely fine to really tailor the practice to your own body. And I encourage you to listen to your own body and make your well-being your first guide, your intention. So let's settle ourselves into your most comfortable seated position. It might be like this. You might be sitting in a chair. You might have one leg sticking out to the side. There's all kinds of different ways to sit, and you're just choosing the best one for you right now. And then lengthen your spine. So sit tall and notice the relationship between your head, your rib cage, and your pelvis. And see if you can line them up in a way that helps you breathe a little more deeply. So when you lift your rib cage, you have more space in your belly and your sides. And if you bring your arms out in front of you and place your arms on the tops of your legs, it helps support your torso. So you can lean forward a little bit and lean back a little bit and find the spot that feels best to you. Now, during practice, you can always adjust by having your eyes open or closed. You can always listen to your breath, and your breath will be another one of your guides. It's a gauge of how hard your body is working. And if you pay attention to that, then it'll let you know. It's like a signal that you can listen to. So start to notice that you are breathing. As you take a breath in and you take a breath out, and start to notice other things. So we noticed your head, your rib cage, and your pelvis. Notice your arms and your legs, where they extend from your torso. Notice your hands. You can wiggle out your fingers and stretch your palms and your fingers out and curl them in towards center. And then just let them hang loose, the ends of your wrists. And wiggle your toes. Move your feet around with the ends of your legs. And move your mouth around. Lift and lower your eyebrows. Wiggle your jaw. And then let your face be heavy and soft. Return your attention to your breath. And notice things about your breath. You're turning your attention inward. Turn your attention to your own body, to your own breath. As you inhale, you might say to yourself, I'm inhaling. As you exhale, you might say to yourself, I'm exhaling. This gives your mind something to do while you're paying attention to your breath. And it helps you stay focused. On your inhale, you say to yourself, I'm inhaling. On your exhale, you say to yourself, I'm exhaling. We'll do this just for a couple of rounds. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. That's a round. We'll do 2 more. Now pull your face back a little, pull your chin back, help stretch out the back of your neck. Start to tilt over toward the left and take your left hand down towards the mat. Take your right hand up toward your right shoulder and draw a circle with your right elbow. And then reach your right arm up and overhead. Stretch it long. Or stretch through your side. You can start to come down onto your left elbow or keep your left arm long. It's up to you. Stretch and lengthen and lengthen and lengthen. On your inhale, sit tall. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. You can hold your opposite hands or hold your opposite shoulders and lean forward. And let the weight of your arms stretch out your shoulders out to the sides of your body. Press down into your sit bones, pull up and in at your belly, curl yourself up. Bring your hands to your opposite elbows and lift your forearms up toward your forehead. And exhale, let your arms come back down by your sides. Put your hands in your lap again with your palms facing up. And once again, notice your breath. Inhale and exhale. Anytime you want to, come back to that practice, come back to that method of staying present. And that might be your intention for class. Maybe you want to stay really present. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. Now take your right hand over towards the mat and take your left hand up towards your left shoulder as you stretch over up towards the right. Reach and reach and reach. Now your right elbow might come down to the mat or your right arm might be straight. You might turn your palm up so you have a different relationship with the gravity here and the strength of your arms. Stretch and lengthen and lengthen and lengthen. You can turn your gaze up towards your left shoulder. Inhale to sit tall and take your left arm underneath your right. You can wrap your arms around each other, hands together, or hands at the shoulders, and lean forward again. So we're stretching out, and you can wiggle a little. Encourage your shoulders to come further out to the sides of your upper back and stretch across your back and let your head hang forward and curl in at your belly and pull up and in and feel your whole torso stretching forward. Release your head a little. Notice how your breath feels like this. And then press down into your legs, roll up, take your hands to your opposite elbows, lift your forearms up toward your forehead, and exhale, release your arms back down. Put your hands on the floor, fingertips on the floor, lift up your shoulders, way up at your ears, and exhale, roll your shoulders back down. Now take your legs out in front of you. Stretch them out and wiggle out your knees. Roll your feet around in a circle. Go around one direction, the other direction. And reach down with both of your hands and take hold of your left leg and put your left foot on the floor with your knee pointing up. Take your right hand and scoop it underneath your left leg and hold on. And turn softly, just gently towards the left. You can look past your left shoulder. You can slide your left hand up toward your left hip, or you can place your left hand back behind you, and that helps you sit a little taller. Lengthen, breathe, and turn. And untwist, and take the soles of your feet together. Let your knees swing out to the sides and hinge forward. Inhale to lift up. Now straighten your legs out in front of you and slide your hands down towards the tops of your feet. I'm going to turn every once in a while. You stay where you are. Stretch and stretch and stretch. Inhale to lift up and plant your hands back behind you and lift your rib cage, going into the fish pose. Lift your rib cage and stretch across your chest. So you stretch across the upper back, and now we're giving your body that complementary position, lifting and lengthening, and you might notice it's like the other side of the pose, stretching and reaching, lifting with your sternum, angling up to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Exhale and soften up. Take your hands off the floor, put the backs of your hands on the tops of your legs, and then swoop your hands forward and reach your fingers down towards your toes once again. And then pull your right foot onto the floor. Wiggle your sit bones back behind you a little to give you more length in your spine. Your left hand scoops underneath your right leg and snugs it in towards your side. Your right hand comes down towards your right hip and turn and look behind you. You could also place your right hand on the floor behind you, your right palm or your right fist, whichever works best for you. Turn from your rib cage and let your shoulders glide around your upper back, and your head just goes along for the ride mostly. As you turn and breathe, I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. Let's untwist. Shoulders face forward, stretch your legs out in front of you, roll through your ankles, point and flex your feet. Now gather up both of your legs, and wiggle your sit bones more underneath you, walk your feet back towards you. Hold on and come onto your toes, and then lift your toes off the floor with your heels pointed down. Now sit a little taller and use less arm strength and more core strength, more of your center, and less leg strength and more core strength, sides of your belly. Now lean back a little and bring your shin bones parallel to the floor. Press your feet forward like you were pressing your feet against the wall in front of you. And take one arm away, either one, reach it forward and reach it up overhead and back down and hold on. Take the other arm forward, either one, and reach up overhead and forward and hold on again. Put the soles of your feet down, soles of the feet together, and hinge forward once again. So I'm knees out to the sides and hinging forward. And hinge to me means straight spine. So your spine is really long. And once your spine gets to the point where you can't really go any much further without losing comfort, because our well-being is our first consideration, and then breath and staying present. Then you can tuck your chin and let your head hang forward whenever you feel like you've come to the point where that is right for you. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Start to bring yourself up through seated. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And we'll take the left leg out in front, and your right knee is bent, and the sole of your right foot's on the inside of your left leg. Wiggle your sit bones back again, so you're sitting tall, and then press out through your left heel. And slide your left hand down toward your left toes. You might not come anywhere near your toes, and it's not important to do that. It's just going that direction. And take your right arm up towards the upper corner and stretch across your chest. So we're finding the front of the chest again and lengthening, and finding especially maybe the underneath here and the side here, and reach and lengthen. Notice that you can lengthen both of your side bodies. Exhale and take your right hand down toward your left hand and towards your left foot. Inhale to open up, sit tall, stretch and lengthen, and then wrap your right arm around behind you and start to turn your left palm up and let your left elbow come on the inside of your left leg. And it might not do that, right? Because maybe that's not right for you. So you might be holding on, your hand might be on the front of your leg. You're making the best decision by listening to your body, listening to your breath. Breathe. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Inhale to sit tall again. Unwrap your right arm. And now take both hands and reach both hands down to either side of your extended left leg and let your torso stretch forward. And if you pop up your left knee just a little bit and get a little more space underneath your left knee, maybe you can bring your torso more comfortably forward. Breathe here and turn your head left and right to get some movement in your neck. Inhale to lift yourself back to seated. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And bring the soles of your feet back together in the center. Hold on in a different place. So this time, hold on maybe to the fronts of your shins, the sides of your knees. You could put your hands underneath, wrap your hands underneath your legs like this and lean forward. It all depends on the length of your arms and the ratio of your arms and your legs and your torso. So just find which one works best for you. Lean forward, stretch. We'll inhale to sit up, unwrap. And now your right leg is long and your left knee's out to the side. And move your sit bones back a little, sit a little bit taller. Take your right hand down. The top of your right leg, slide it down. And then take your left arm out to the side, reach it up, and then you're lengthening both of your side bodies. You can turn your gaze past your left thumb. So you look past. Sit a little bit taller. Breathe. Keep your right toes pointed up towards the ceiling. And then wrap your left arm around behind your body. And bring your right elbow on the inside of your right knee. And lean forward. Any amount. By any amount, I mean literally, it might be a millimeter, or it might be your torso's laying out across your leg. It's not important the depth of the pose. It's important that you are in the spot where you're best taking care of yourself. Focused on your well-being, focused on staying present, focused on I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Keep stretching, keep lengthening, and keep paying attention. Inhaling to lift up. Unwrap your arms and take both hands down the front of the right leg. So you're stretching and reaching. So last time we had the hands on the outside. This time maybe you have your hands on the top, unless you prefer hands on the floor. So lengthen. Once again, you could wiggle your sit bones back a little, and you could pop up your right knee a little to bring your right side of your torso closer to your right thigh with more ease. That's a possible outcome. Notice you're fostering your well-being. You're staying present. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. Inhale to walk yourself back up through center. And we'll do one more. Soles of the feet together, knees swing out to the sides. Now you might look at this pose and you might notice that my knees are pretty close to the floor and your knees might be way away from the floor. That doesn't mean that you're better or not better at this pose. It just is the way that your body is made. So work with what you've got. Maybe you're holding on to the outsides of your knees and your knees are pretty high, or maybe your knees are pretty low and you're holding onto your feet. Either way, you're giving yourself time to breathe and time to stretch. So inhale and exhale. Breathe softly. Give yourself time to stretch out in the pose. It takes a little bit. It takes the effort of not doing anything. Keep breathing and breathing and breathing. We'll inhale to sit up and stretch your legs out in front of you one more time. Wiggle your sit bones back, press out through your heels, toes up, sit tall. And cross your legs underneath you. We're coming into table. So once you're in table, you can tuck your tailbone and lift your tailbone and move your hips left and right. Bend your elbows and dive your chest through into cow pose and tuck under into cat pose and let your hips move back toward your heels. We'll do that a couple times. Dive through, tuck under, hips move back toward the heels, dive through, tuck under, Hips move back towards the heels. Let's do one more. Dive through, tuck under, hips move back towards the heels, and then lift up and lean forward into upward facing dog. So you're stretching out the front side of your body, your arm long, your shoulders are firm on your upper back. And tuck your toes under and lift your knees and straighten yourself into downward facing dog. Now, not everybody likes downward facing dog, and sometimes I don't like downward facing dog. So you could also do puppy pose with your knees down and your hips up and your arms outstretched. That's one variation. You could also do table, which is pretty much the same thing. You just move your hips forward and back. You're just stretching out our spines and our shoulders. So once you've had a couple of moments in your stretching pose, whichever one you chose, start to bend your knees. Let your knees come back down and take your left foot forward. You can assist it forward with your hands and lift up into low lunge. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Take your right hand over toward your left knee and take your left hand to your left hip. We're just turning. You can turn your head past your left shoulder and then turn your head past your right shoulder. Just get the range of motion. Then take your left forearm down onto your left thigh and stretch your right arm up and overhead. Inhale to lift up and bring your arms out to T. Exhale and take both hands down on the inside of your front leg and move your hips back. We're coming into half splits. So the front leg is straight, your torso is leaning forward, big stretch through the left leg. And walk your hands forward and take your left leg back behind you into bird dog. Press out through your heel, your toes are down. Both knees down. Your hips move back toward your heels, rock a little bit side to side, and then lift up, bend your elbows, dive your chest through into cow, tuck under to cat, hips move back toward the heels. Do it again. Glide through, tuck under, hips move back toward the heels, and then lean forward in upward facing dog, and then choose your variation of downward facing dog. You might have your hands and feet on the floor. Your knees might be down with your arms outstretched, or you might be moving in from table and out of table. One's not better than the other. You just choose the one that works best for you. So once you're finished in your chosen position, let your knees come back down to the mat and step your right foot forward in between your hands. You can come forward and back a little, and then slowly start to bring yourself up into low lunge, rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. Take your left hand across over toward your right knee. Your right hand is on your right hip, and you can turn and look past your right shoulder. You can turn and look past your left shoulder. Just find your range of motion. And unwrap, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And take your hands on the inside of your front leg and lean forward. And then rock back, coming into half splits. Your left leg is, it's your right leg. Your right leg is long. You're stretching back, particularly finding a big stretch on the back of your extended front leg. Rock forward, lift up, and bring yourself into warrior two. And then lean forward, your right forearms on your right thigh. Your left arm stretches up and over. Big side stretch. Both hands down. And take your front leg back and stretch it into bird dog. Press down with your toes. Press back with your heel. Both knees down. Hips move back toward the heels. Bend your elbows. Dive your chest through into cow pose. Tuck under into cat pose. Hips move back toward the heels. Bend your elbows. Dive through. Tuck under. And hips back. And come into resting pose. So resting pose looks different for everybody, but Here's one resting pose with your legs tucked underneath you and your hands on the tops of your knees. Here's another resting pose, forearms down, with your fists one on top of the other and your forehead on your fists. Here's another resting pose, downward facing dog. So choose your resting pose and give yourself a couple of moments in your chosen pose. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. I'm focused on my well-being. I'm staying in the present moment. When you finished with your resting pose, you feel rested, we're ready to move on to the next position. Bring yourself back through seated and roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Let your hips move over towards the left and tuck your legs underneath you. Your left leg is underneath your right leg. And take your right hand across over toward the left and turn and look past your left shoulder. Untwist, pick up your right foot and put it right in front. Take your left arm, snug it underneath. Your right arm reaches up and turn towards the right. And I have my right fingers behind me on the floor, so it's keeping me tall and lifted. And untwist. Take both of your legs and bring them over towards left, feet over to the left, knees over to the right. Your left leg is on top of your right leg. And take your left hand across over toward the right and turn, twisting with your torso and your upper chest and your shoulders, and your head just goes along for the ride. We'll untwist, pick up your left leg, put your left foot on the floor, take your right arm, scoop it underneath your left leg and snug it. Your left arm reaches up, rotate the upper body. Your left hand comes around behind you. So my fingers are on the floor to give me more lift in my spine. So I have more space to rotate and turn from your upper chest, your shoulders, swirl around your upper back, and your head goes along for the ride. So there's very little work in your neck at all. You're just turning and breathing. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Let's untwist, shoulders face forward, soles of the feet, once again together. Let's try a different variation this time with a twist. Your right hand comes down towards your feet, and your left arm stretches back behind you, and turn and look past your left thumb. Try wrapping your left arm around behind you so it comes over towards the outside of your right hip. Inhale, use the length of your arm to push yourself back up. Put your hands on the tops of your knees, tops of your ankles, and draw a circle with your torso. And let's try the other side. Twist, hands, left hand on the top of your feet, and your right arm reaches back behind you as you tilt forward with your torso. So you're getting a twisting, opening, breathing. You can look past your right thumb, and then you could wrap your right arm behind you, reaching for the outside of your left hip. Lean and stretch and find space in your shoulder, and notice how your breath feels in this position. Let your breath be your guide and a signal for you, something to pay attention to. Use the length of your left arm. Push yourself back up, unwrap, hands down, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and take a big circle with your torso around the other way. Now stick your legs out in front of you. Roll through your ankles, point and flex your feet. Plant your feet on the floor. Wiggle your sit bones forward a little. Hold on to the backs of your legs and start to roll yourself down onto your back. Make sure you've got plenty of space behind you. Once you get onto your back, bring your knees into your chest and draw circles with your knees. And plant your arms down onto the mat and bring your legs into 90-degree angles. And bend your elbows and let your palms face each other. And press up through your heels and find a little bit of breathing room here, space. And then take your palms and press your palms into your thighs and your thighs into your palms. And press and press and press. Engage your low back and your sides and your belly. Are you breathing? You have to breathe. And soften up. Let your feet come back down to the floor. Walk your feet a little closer towards each other. Arms long down by your sides. Squeeze your glutes a little. Press your low back down. Keep your nose pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Press down into your feet and lift your hips any amount. It might just be the sensation of lift. You might just press your low back down. And that might be plenty for that sensation for you. Or your hips might be in line with your knees and your rib cage might be angling up to where the wall and the ceiling meet. That might be the best spot for you. Or anywhere in between. Slowly tuck your tailbone, let your hips come all the way back down. Walk your feet out to the edges of the mat and rock your knees left and right. And this is optional, but you could take your arms across your body the opposite direction of the way that your knees are pointing to get more of your spine and your shoulders involved in the twist. Get your whole body involved. And point your knees up, let your arms come down by your sides, and start to straighten your legs and straighten your spine and your neck, and you can turn your palms up and let your feet flop out from the central line of your body. Take a breath or two here. And notice if you like this position, if you're comfortable in this position. And if you want to change this position, you're welcome to do that, of course, however you want to. I'll show you a couple of variations that sometimes work for people. So you could put the soles of your feet together with your knees apart. You could put your knees together with your feet apart. You could cross your arms across your body. You could lay on your side. You could sit up. So find your most comfortable position and keep finding it, and keep refining it. And you might feel that you want to move during this second part of class. That's completely fine. You can't mess this up. You can't do it wrong. You can only do it right because you're focused on your well-being. You're focused on staying present, and you're focused on I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. So anytime you want, you can come back to that practice during this next part. Come back to that practice of paying attention to your breath. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. You're pretty good at it now. So you've been practicing it for a while. And it might feel familiar. It might feel like something that you want to go back to, you want to keep exploring. So we'll start from there. We'll take 3 rounds of I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. Once you're done with those 3 rounds, you can continue on in that practice, or you can start to notice your left hand. Notice your left thumb, your left index finger, your left middle finger, your left ring finger, and your left pinky. And you might wiggle your fingers on your left hand And notice the center of your left palm and trace your awareness from the center of your palm out to each individual fingertip. Center of the palm to the pinky fingertip, center of the palm to the ring fingertip, center of the palm to the middle fingertip, center of the palm to the index fingertip, center of the palm to the thumb tip. Notice your whole left palm. And then notice the back of your left hand, the back of each individual finger, your fingernails. Become specifically aware of your left hand, your entire left hand. Take a breath in. Exhale softly and let your left hand get soft and heavy. You can shake it a little and just let it get heavy. And move your awareness up your left arm through your left wrist, your left forearm, your left elbow, your left upper arm, your left shoulder, your armpit. Notice your whole left arm. Let it get soft and heavy. Now notice your right hand. Notice each individual finger, starting with your right thumb, your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. Notice the center of your right palm and trace your awareness like a little line between the center of your right palm and your pinky fingertip, and so on. Keep moving through each individual finger from the center of your palm out to your fingertip. And then notice your whole right palm and each finger. Now notice the back of your right hand, back of each finger, your fingernails. Take a big breath in and wiggle your right fingers and your right hand around a little bit. And then let your right hand get soft and heavy. Notice and pay attention to your right wrist, your right forearm, your right elbow, your right upper arm, your right shoulder, your right armpit. Notice your whole right arm. Take a big breath in, exhale, and let your right arm get soft and heavy. Take a big breath in and let your breath travel down in your body. And send your breath down toward your attention down toward your left foot. And notice your left big toe, your index toe, your middle toe, your ring toe, and your pinky toe. Wiggle all of your left toes. And notice the sole of your left foot and the parts of the bottom of your foot, the ball of your foot, and your heel, and your arch. And the edges of the bottom of your foot. Notice the top of your foot and each individual toenail. Take a big inhale. Exhale and wiggle your left foot around a little bit and let it get soft and heavy. And notice your left ankle, your left lower leg, your left knee, your left thigh, your left hip. Exhale and let your whole left leg get soft and heavy, fully aware of your entire left leg. I'm inhaling I'm exhaling. Now take a moment to notice your right big toe. You can wiggle it around a little. Your right index toe, your middle toe, your ring toe, and your pinky toe. Notice the bottom of your right foot, the different parts of your right foot. You might notice the ball of your foot. You might notice the heel. You might notice your arch. You might notice the edges of the bottom of your right foot. Notice the top of your right foot, the tops of your toes, and each individual toenail. Take a soft breath in and become really aware of your entire right foot, and exhale and let your right foot get soft and heavy. Now notice your right ankle, your right lower leg, your right knee, your right thigh, and your right hip. Become aware of your entire right leg. And exhale and let your whole right leg get soft and heavy. And bring your attention to your torso. Notice your low belly, your sides. Notice your low back, your middle back, and your upper back, where your shoulder blades are. Bring your attention down towards the area of your navel. And let your attention come up towards your chest, noticing your center of your chest. Acknowledging your rib cage and the movement of your body as you inhale and exhale. Noticing your collarbones, tops of your shoulders. Noticing the back and the sides and the front of your neck. Take a big breath in and let your whole body participate in your breath in. Say to yourself, I'm inhaling. And on your exhale, say to yourself, I'm exhaling. And let your whole body sink into the position that you've chosen. And finally, bring your awareness to your head. Notice all the parts of your head. You might notice things like the back of your head, if your head is resting on something. You might notice things like your ears or your scalp. You might notice things like your eyelids blinking, your forehead, your eyebrows. You might just name all the parts of your face, going through, noticing your eyes, your nose, your mouth, noticing the sides of your face, your cheeks, your temples, sides of your jaw. You might notice the underneath of your jaw. Take a swallow and notice the inside of your mouth. Notice your tongue, your teeth, and your gums. Notice your soft palate in the back of your throat. As you swallow, notice the muscles inside your throat. And start to bring your awareness down into the inside of your body. Notice the inside of your throat. Start to notice your internal organs, your heart beating. You might notice signs of your digestion. Focus on your well being, your nourishment by breathing. Keep inhaling and exhaling. And we've gone through our entire bodies and observed and noticed and acknowledged our entire body. Keep giving your mind that path of paying attention to your breath, or bring it back to that path of paying attention to your breath. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. Keep considering your well being and staying in this present moment. So I'm going to be quiet for about a minute. I have a little chime that I will ring when that minute or so is over. You don't have to pay attention to the time, I'll keep track of the time. While it's quiet, you can just notice any, acknowledge first any sounds in the room, any things that your might take your attention, your awareness away from your practice. Acknowledge those. If you get distracted, that's fine. You can't do this wrong. You just take care of anything that needs to be taken care of, and you come back to your practice. So give yourself the opportunity, the space, and the time. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Take a soft breath in. Wiggle your face around, move your jaw. Exhale and let your face get soft and heavy. Take another inhale and squeeze up your face and your shoulders and your fists. Squeeze them up, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And exhale and let your face go soft and heavy, your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. Take one more inhale and squeeze up everything, your face, your shoulders, your arms, your fists, your belly, your back, your glutes, your legs, your feet, and your toes. Squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Exhale and release. However you've placed your body, we'll come onto our backs and bring our knees into our chests and draw circles with your knees. Go around one direction and the other direction. Keep your left knee in toward your chest and take your right leg long. Take your left knee over to the left and drag your left knee across your body over to the right. Just roll over. You can take your left arm out to the side if you like. Roll back onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest and draw circles with your knees again. One direction and the other direction. And this time, take your left leg long and your right leg comes across your body. It goes back over on its own side and comes across your body. Just kind of rock left and right. And you can take your right arm out to the side if you like. It's optional. Rolling back onto your back, bringing both knees into your chest. Roll through your feet. Flex your feet and move through your toes. And put your feet onto the mat. Walk your feet out and windshield wiper left and right with your arms and your legs. And you can use your arms and your legs to bring yourself back up to seated. Get used to sitting up again. And sit tall. Take your hands and rub your hands together. And take your hands up to the top of your head and lift your head up into your hands, acknowledging your head. Put your hands maybe on the side of your head, the back of your head. Put your hands on the tops of your shoulders and settle your shoulders down. And cross your arms across your chest and feel your rib cage. And put your hands either on the front of your stomach or maybe the sides or maybe one in front and one in back. And feel your breath in your belly. And bring your hands back into your lap with your palms facing up. It's acknowledging the time that you take to take care of yourself. Acknowledging your commitment to your well-being. Acknowledging your commitment to stay present. Acknowledging your commitment to inhaling and exhaling. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I appreciate you so much, and I wish you well. And I'm Susan, and I teach for Comeback Yoga, and you can find me on this channel. And we have plenty of classes throughout the week offered on our YouTube channel, and we have lots of videos available to you on our website, comebackyoga.org. Please come and join us whenever you can. We're here for you, and it means so much to us to have people to practice with. So come back when you can, and I will see you soon. Take care. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.